Okay, so thank you for joining me. Today we are going to start off looking at Linux commands relating to processes. Um, Within a Linux environment, within a Linux operating system, because we are speaking on operating systems and talking specifically on the Linux operating system. So within the Linux operating system, we we have um, we have different states that a Linux process can be in, which include the running states, the sleeping states, the interrupt sleep states, the uninterruptible sleep states, the stop states, and the zombie states, right? So within Linux, we can either have processes in these states or put processes into the states, depending on what you want to do. We can have a process in running state, which means that it's running, if it is ready to be processed by the operating system's processor, and the logic can be executed by the processor. In the sleeping state, the the process is waiting to be assigned to the processor for it to carry out the commands that are specified in the process, which is in the program of that process, particular. The sleep state has two different types when it comes to Linux. It has the interruptible sleep and the uninterruptible sleep. The interruptible sleep state of the process and signifies that the process can wake up and handle signals as they come to it. But with the uninterruptible sleep, it means handle signals until the sleep period has been closed. There are processes and operations that you can carry out in a Linux environment where you need to put a process in a sleep state, either so that it can wait for a particular amount of time to be exceeded. Maybe you want to put a process in a 10-minute sleep period or a 10-second sleep period to wait for a particular action. So when that time is exceeded, then the process can come into the running state again. But within that period, it might not be able to accept any signals. But with the interruptible sleep, it can handle signals that come in when it is in the sleep state. The stopped state is when the process has gone into a state where it's no longer running. It's now stopped. It has been closed, either manually or it has finished its execution. And the zombie state is when the process is still or dead, either because of a failure or because of a manual kill. So for all these processes, we have various commands that we can use in Linux to handle these processes. We have the top command that you can use on your Linux machine to see all the running processes on your machine in real time. This is different from the PS command, which is the process status command, which gives you the processes on the system, but it doesn't give you that in real time as the sub command. The PS command, which is the process status command, has various options that you can use with it to see different values of the process that are running. We talked about the zombie states of the process previously. To put a process in zombie states, to stop a process, we need to kill the process. And the kill process, as you can find, has various types of kill, various options of kill. So the most frequently used is kill 9. There are other options that you can use with kill. Stop on kill a process or stop a process from running. 9s would give a process priority, and by either increasing the length of the process or reducing it. The default priority of the process would be 0. If you want to increase that value, you can increase it to between 0 and 19. If you want to reduce it, reduce it to between 0 and the -20. You can also change the niceness, that is, change the priority of the running process using your renice command. And you can put process either in the background or in the foreground, which means you can have a process running um, on your terminal that you can see it, or you can put it in the background so that you can carry out further tasks and activities on your terminal. The background process will be put in the background with the bg command, and the fg will put it in the foreground command, and then you can list out processes, both background processes and foreground processes in the job scope. Okay. Okay, so I think that's all for our previous class to complete it. We will now be moving on to Vagrant. This will be a more hands-on class when it comes to Vagrant. I hope we've all got our Vagrants installed, because that's what we'll be using today. Okay. So I'll be sharing my screen for Vagrants now. I'll be going with this. Okay. So to our lesson for today, we'll be trying to specifically handle our practicals for Linux, the Linux operating system, and get our hands dirty with Linux by using Vagrant. Um, we'll use Vagrant, we'll set up Vagrant, we'll set up a virtual machine on Vagrant, using Vagrant, which will run on either whichever provisioner that we have, whether it's VirtualBox, which I believe most of us will be using, to run these virtual machines and interact with them. We'll get into the virtual machine and interact with the VM and perform various Linux commands. And with that, we get a hands-on look on how to work with a Linux machine and interact with a Linux operating system. Okay, so we'll be going today through what Vagrant is, how it works, what a Vagrant file is, how the different types of providers within Vagrant that Vagrant supports, the different boxes that we have. We'll see how we can create a virtual machine using Vagrant, how we can access that virtual machine to run various commands. We have various Vagrant provisioners that we can use for configurations and installations. So we'll take a look at that too. Then we'll learn how to install an application on the machine using a provisioner. And then we'll give ourselves some exercises that we can take and work on some later. First of all, I hope we have all gotten access to the LMS platform. Please drop it in the chat if you have access to that, because we will be carrying out most of our exercises there on that platform. Okay. So very quickly, what is Vagrant? Vagrant is a tool. It's a tool that was created by HashiCorp. Most of us might know HashiCorp. They are the ones that created the Terraform tool, which is a tool for provisioning and infrastructure support. So they have various tools that they have created. One of them is Vagrant, which is a tool that helps in the creation and configuring of development or sandbox environments. This is so that you wouldn't usually use a Vagrant machine for a production workload. It's usually for development processes, for sandbox processes, to test out things, to make environments available to various people for testing on it, for testing code, for running operations and processes within their local system. So you can configure an environment. I can configure an environment here and send it over to somebody else, and that person can have the same environment on their local system with all the configurations that I need and all the configurations that I want, that I know will work. So that basically checks out the issue of this code works on my machine, but it doesn't work um on my co-developer's machine, right? So we can create a particular machine that you have on everybody's system that can work and run the code for all of them. Right. So that's what Vagrant does. That's what it applies to. How it works. Basically, it's an open source tool that helps us. An open source tool that would help us to create virtual environments with a single workflow, with a single configuration, right? Which would be the Vagrant file. So with our Vagrant file, we can create various work environments, virtual work environments, and be able to send that either using a central Git repository to other developers so that they can have that same configuration. Vagrant basically automates the process of creating virtual machines. So it would actually need a platform where those virtual machines will run. It doesn't by itself run those virtual machines. It automates and makes the process of creating those machines easier using the Vagrant file to specify configurations, which can be deployed to an environment, a provision, which could either be VMware, that is the pro version, VMware Fusion, or it can use virtual box, or it can use Docker, as the case may be. So with the Vagrant file for creating configurations and writing configurations for your Vagrant virtual machines. Your Vagrant file is like your script, right? Where you specify different configurations, the different things that you need on your virtual box. And then after that, you can execute or deploy that Vagrant file. And then it runs the building and creation of the virtual environment that you want based on what you've written in your script, right? So you see here that Vagrant file is used to describe type of virtual machine required for the project that you're building. It's where you configure and write the configuration details of your machine, and then you deploy that using the Vagrant up command, or, or the Vagrant up and specifying the particular provider that you want to deploy to, whether it's VMware, whether it's VirtualBox, right? So let's have a look at what that would look like.
Hello, sir. You're mute. I'm not hearing you.
We can't hear anything. I think you're muted.
So your Vagrant file will look something like this, where you have your Vagrant configure. two. The two specifies the version of the Vagrant configure, and then you create a variable name for your configuration, for your Vagrant configure, and then you can now run different commands for your configuration, which can be, you see, we have Vagrant configure
We can't hear
vm.box.
is
Vagrant configure.figure.vm.box, which is the box, the operating system, the image that you're using for your Vagrant configuration, and so many other options. So this is what a Vagrant file looks like. We're going to come back to that and do some configurations on our own systems for Vagrant. Okay. Okay, so that's fine. Now for the different providers that we have on Vagrant, we can provision our Vagrant, that is to deploy virtual machine. The different places we can deploy the virtual machine. We can deploy it either on a Docker environment or on Microsoft Hyper-V. We can also use VirtualBox or Fusion. So most of us today will be using VirtualBox. That's what we've installed. But right now, VirtualBox is not available for M1 devices of Apple. And if you're using that, could you just let me know in the comment section so that I just know who will be having that problem today? But for everyone else, I think you can run VirtualBox easily in your system, and your Vagrant virtual machine should be deployed on VirtualBox. Right. So now, what is a box? VMware works with various environments, creates various environments for you. Now, these base environments can be further configured to the way you want them, right? But Vagrant provides some supported boxes that you can use. They come in images of operating systems or operating systems that have certain configurations on top of them. So I can get a Linux box from Vagrant, which will have Linux configuration, maybe an Ubuntu box, for example, Ubuntu 22, right? That will have the different configurations of Ubuntu 22. And I can then deploy that on either VMware or VirtualBox and use that machine. So a box is the packaged format of your Vagrant environment. The packaged image of a Vagrant environment, which you can deploy to your provider and work with. So a list of supported boxes will be at this link there. And you can always go there to specify which box you want to work with. Creating a VM. So creating a virtual machine in VirtualBox, creating a virtual machine in Vagrant would need you to have a Vagrant file. Now you can easily have a Vagrant file configured for you when you use the init command. So you can use Vagrant init and the particular box that you want to work with. Okay. So let me try to go back a bit. So when you want to create a Vagrant, can we all hear me? Can we all hear me better?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so creating an image, creating a machine on Vagrant would need a Vagrant file. However, you can quickly spin up a Vagrant box, a Vagrant image using the init command. This init command in the background creates a virtual file, a Vagrant file for you. But you can use the Vagrant init to quickly have that created for you, and then use Vagrant also to spin up that Vagrant box using that virtual, using that Vagrant file. So your Vagrant up is to execute your Vagrant file that has been created. Now, without this Vagrant image, you can on your own write a Vagrant file, which we'll be going over later today in this class. You can write your Vagrant file and have that executed for you using your Vagrant up. You can specify options as well to specify the provider that you want it to be deployed into. Okay, so when your file has been created, you can get access into the file using your Vagrant SSH command. The Vagrant SSH command would be to use SSH to access the machine that you've created, the virtual machine that you've created, to be able to run commands within that machine. This would use SSH. It'd be like a normal SSH configuration to access your file over the SSH connection and execute commands within your environment. Okay. Okay, so Lydia, you have a question?
I'm not really like a question, please. I don't follow. I don't understand.
Okay, that's fine. Yes, we'll go over it again from the part that you missed. When we get into the practicals, this will be better understood. And we'll go over all the things that we've spoken about here. Okay. So going on now, different provisioners. So your provisioner, in a case where you want to make configurations, make extra configurations and extra, maybe install softwares, make configurations, make changes to the box that you've created, you can do that using a provisioner, which can be a configuration management language like either Ansible, Chef, or Puppet, or you can have a shell script that you can use to do your configurations within your Vagrant file or with an external file. So your provisioner helps you to make configurations, download softwares, make changes to your system as extra scripts, even outside the Vagrant file. So you can reference other scripts and other configuration management scripts outside your Vagrant file to make further configurations within your virtual machine. Okay. Okay, Nicholas, you have a question.
Yes, please. Thank you so far. Just to maybe call your attention to it. You know, this is a beginner's class. So I guess it would help to do some definition of terms. Like I saw you writing SSH, which is supposed to be like something we know already, and I don't have an idea. I don't have a clue of what that is.
Okay, so SSH is it's a secure shell. It's for creating a secure shell to your machine. Like if you want to have access to your machine, you don't want your machine to be accessible to everybody. So creating a secure connection between one machine, either your local machine and a remote machine, or one remote machine to another. You need to configure a connection between both of them. This connection can be done. You know, there are various protocols for connecting to a machine. You can have a connection that uses HTTP, for instance, or you can use the internet networking. I think we'll go deeper on this when we talk about networking. Networking in itself is how you create communication between various computers, right? So if you want to create a secure connection from one machine to another, you will use a secure shell connection, so that the secure sockets connection between two machines is created using SSH. I don't know if that's clear. I can practically show you how that is done. Hello, Nicholas, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm trying to make it make sense. But I get the beginning part when you said you have to use it and secure a connection, create a secure connection between two computers. Yeah, I get up to that point.
Going from a networking perspective, to connect between different machines, you need a protocol that directs you to a port, right? Now, in order to make that secure, OpenSSH has created a protocol for us to be able to have connections, encrypted connections between two computers, right? So without a computer having a particular decryption key, I cannot send traffic to that computer from my own computer, right? Now there are some protocols protocols for connection I can use that are more verbose, that are more public, maybe like Telnet, if that is open. But with SSH, we need that for secure communication between two computers. Let's just take it like that. To create secure communications, secure connection between two hosts, two computers, we need to create an SSH connection. Nicholas, do you understand?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay. All right, thank you. Is there anyone that's not clear on that? Oh, okay. Chika,
Sir, good evening.
good
So
evening.
please, I want to ask, when you started working on this Vagrant, can we possibly get the all those commands that you used to set it up? Because I've watched series of videos and the
Mhm.
commands they are using is quite confusing. So I've actually
Okay.
been waiting for this class, honestly, so I can be able to
Okay.
set it up.
Okay. That's fine. We're going to have a practical session where we will go into that. Just immediately after this. Okay, so let's go on and try to finish up on one last question from Emmanuel.
Good evening, sir. It's not a question actually.
Okay,
I just
let's
want to
take the
throw.
question. Let's have questions. Let's have just questions now. Um, you have further additions maybe after this session. I just wanted a few questions for those who haven't understood what we have said so far. Okay, so thank you for that, everyone. So to install to do a quick installation of an application, say Apache, for instance, on your box, on your Vagrant box, you can do either an inline configuration, as we see here, or we can reference an external script using the path command, the path variable. So with Vagrant, you can specify your provisioner using the config.vm.provision, and that's will. There you can specify either a file provisioner or a shell provisioner or Ansible or Chef, or whichever one you want to use. In this case, you're using shell, and then to have it in line, you can put your different configurations. This one is to install and to update your Ubuntu machine and to install Apache, which is a server for your different files. So you can create that, install that Apache application on your machine, or you can reference an external script using the path variable. And this will create an external, this will use the external scripts to configure your machine, right? Okay. Okay, so if there are any questions before we go into practically working on these things, I know there will be a lot of questions. I tried to go through this theory before we begin practical applications of it. Is there anyone? Okay, okay, one person. Okay, let's hear from Helen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Helen.
I wasn't understanding the class, but I'll go back and watch the video on YouTube. But my question is, I prefer to use a VMware. I prefer VMware over
Okay, so yeah, over VirtualBox. Over VirtualBox. Hello.
I think I prefer VMware over books.
Okay. Okay, so you have various provisions and you can work with anyone. VMware uses the Pro version. So if you prefer VMware, I'm sure you probably have the Pro version. But whichever one you're using, the Vagrant commands are the same. They're just a little bit different when specifying that particular provision, right? So if it's VMware that you're working with, that's fine. But for this class, let's work with VirtualBox. Let's work with VirtualBox in this class. Okay. Okay, so let's dive straight into the practicals.
Sorry, can I go ahead?
Okay. So how many of us have our Vagrant installed? Could you just put up your hand? If you have Vagrant installed, okay. Okay, so okay. So is there anyone that has it installed on an Apple computer that's running M1, for instance? That's running and that has an M1 chip. Or
I have.
okay, and you're working with VirtualBox. And you can.
Yeah, I can hear
Is
you.
that you? Yeah, and
Yes.
so
Sorry, this is my first time in the class, so I don't know. So
have you have to catch up with those using YouTube classes.
I can't see your screen. Your screen is kind of blank.
Okay, that's my terminal. That's my terminal. Okay, Emmanuel, you're using an M1.
No, I'm currently using a WSL for Windows.
That's on your MacBook.
Sir?
Is that on your MacBook?
No. I'm having it on Windows. Then I installed Ubuntu 22.04 on it. So I don't know if that works too, because I use it for most of my practical works.
You have VirtualBox installed here on the same computer.
A VMware.
VMware.
Okay, so
Yes.
And you can.
Yeah.
Please put up
Yeah,
your hand
can
before. Put up your hand before.
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So I don't know if WSL will work, then I can just easily spin it up. But I already have VMware spinned up.
Okay. We'll see if that works as we go ahead. Lydia, you have an issue.
Yes, sir. Sir, please, someone like me, I'm a beginner. I don't even understand how this VirtualBox, Vagrant, these things are like strange languages. Can you just help us understand how they work? Like, this is VirtualBox, this is what it does, Vagrant, because you're teaching us like someone that already know. And me like this, I don't even understand. That's why I try to tell you that I don't follow. I don't understand how you got to where you are. Can you please break it down for us to understand?
Have you been in our other classes?
Yes, I've been in the other classes. I even went back to watch the videos. So
Okay.
can you please make us understand? Because I don't follow seriously from the beginning of the class. I don't follow.
Okay. So that's fine. That's fine if you don't understand yet. A quick explanation I can give is based on the other classes. We've been talking about operating systems, and we've been talking about the Linux operating system. Now, we see that most of us might be working on different kind of computers. What we want to do with Vagrant is to create a virtual machine. Now, what a virtual machine is like let's say a machine that's running inside your machine. Right? Create a lightweight computer that will run inside your machine that you can interact with. How do we do that? We will have to have a software that can run machine images. Okay, this is going to a practical description of that. We need a software that can run lightweight images, which would be Fusion, that's we are talking about VMware Fusion or VirtualBox. Okay. So Lydia, you're still with me, yes?
Yes, sir, I'm still with you, but I can't see your screen anymore.
Okay, can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So we are trying to create, we have our local computer here. Now your computer can be running Windows or whatever it's maybe a Windows operating system. It's my assumption because most personal computers will be using Windows. So you have your Windows computer here, right? Now on this Windows computer, we want to look at how we can deploy, how we can create a Linux machine on this, right? So we need a software which we will call for this class, let's call it a hypervisor, right? That will be running on this our machine, right? This what this software does. This is either this is a hypervisor to be either VMware or VirtualBox or Hyper-V, right? So this is what VirtualBox is. What VirtualBox would do would be to create smaller machines inside our machine, basically. Used by partitioning our memory, partitioning our CPU, and making them available for the different machines that we need. Now, we will need to create machines, virtual machines, which are lightweight machines inside our host computer, inside this our computer. So we'll create smaller machines, right? You can create as many as we want, which will run on top of our hypervisor. So say you have this Linux machine, another Linux machine. These are different machines that are now configured inside your main machine, right? So this is what we are trying to do. Now, to create these different machines for us to work with, we simply want to work with Linux and interact with Linux. To create these different machines, we will need to download an image of an operating system, which is called an ISO, Linux ISO download, right? You need to find that image, see the Ubuntu, see there's a bootable image you can get for Ubuntu. You need to get that, download it, and start running it. But instead of doing and make the configuration and start running it, instead of doing that, we want to use a tool, right? That can make creation of these images easier for us. So within this tool called Vagrant. So Vagrant makes it easy for us to. It has different configurations, right? Of various machines. It has configurations for Ubuntu. It has configurations for Nginx. It has configurations for different versions of Ubuntu, right? So it has Fedora. You know the different distributions we talked about. So those are all already existing in this Vagrant tool. So what we need to do is to just come to Vagrant and tell Vagrant, okay, deploy this machine to my computer for me. So Vagrant then deploys this for you so that you don't have to deploy it by yourself. And you deploy it to your computer on your hypervisor. And then that runs that particular machine, that particular operating system for you. Does that make sense? What's the question? What's the question, Lydia? Does it make sense?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Can you quickly explain it back to me? What is Vagrant?
Okay. Okay, Vagrant is like he said it's like a machine that helps us to deploy. For example, you said we want to interact with Linux. So
Yes.
Vagrant helps us to, it has the commands that helps us to deploy, Abby. Instead of going to download directly Ubuntu. Let me see. Okay, instead of going to download directly, we use Vagrant to deploy. It helps us to deploy easily, to interact with our.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think I'm confused. I got the point actually. I can't really explain it.
Okay. So let's say Vagrant already has these images on it.
Okay.
So it will help us to have these images deployed into our own machine. And those images would run on an application in our machine called an A hypervisor. A hypervisor virtualizes various resources on our machine and makes them available to these other machines that we want to run. Right? So now you can have it running on your system simply by writing a Vagrant command. I hope everybody gets that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's quickly go into practical. I am working with a computer that has an M1 chip. So the problem I will have is that VirtualBox, which is the hypervisor that we wanted to use for this class, would not run on my system because it's not supported, right? If anybody has an ARM chip, they will experience the same thing. But for those of us that have, we have maybe a Windows computer or any other kind of computer that doesn't use an ARM chip. Yeah, Intel won't have an issue. Okay, I'm so sorry, Musa. So you can use your VirtualBox effectively. For me, I'll be working with Docker, and that is where I'll be running my virtual machines. That's what will be my, my hypervisor in this case. Although it's really organized images. For anybody else using VirtualBox, you'll be fine using the same commands that I'll be using. So it could be a little different. The first thing we are going to do is to look at the boxes that are available to us. You can quickly tell me what a box is. Put up your hand then I'll call you. Can't you quickly tell me what a box is? Nobody's hand is up. Michael. Okay, let me hear from you, Michael. What is a Vagrant box? Michael, was that you that put up your hand?
Sorry, my environment is kind of loud. So, a
Yes,
Vagrant
boss, I
box,
can hear you.
a Vagrant box is more like a format for your Vagrant environment, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Emmanuel, how about you? What's a Vagrant box?
Okay, Vagrant box can be regarded as an instance of an operating system.
Okay. Yes,
Yeah.
that's very good as well.
Let me
So
give it a shot. Maybe it's correct.
okay,
Yeah, I see it
that
more
was
of
it.
like, yes, sir. I see it more like a suit
You
where
can
you
put up
could,
your hand, Mr.
oh, so sorry.
Okay.
I may be wrong. So, yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, I see it more like a suite where you could actually deploy operating systems in it, be it whether it's Ubuntu, whether it's Linux, or whether it is, instead of just going individually to have several operating systems on your system. It's more like a suite where you can have two or more, as the case may be, and choose your preference from there. Okay.
Yes, that's a little bit correct. There's an idea in that. Yeah, but not exactly. It's like the box is like the packaged image that you want to run, packaged operating system that you want to run as your base operating system for, and you're deploying that into your computer to run the operating system. Right. So this is a Vagrant website where you can see various boxes that are available to you, various boxes that you can use on your system. Okay, so we have Ubuntu 14.04, which has been Ubuntu Trust 64. We have CentOS here. We have Ubuntu 16.04. Okay, we have let's look for very recent version. Okay. So we have Ubuntu Bionic as well, which is 18.04. So let's see. Okay, so we have Ubuntu 20.04 as well here. So I think okay. So you can also specify based on the particular provider that you want to work with. You can look for Docker boxes. You can look for VMware specific boxes, right? VMware Fusion boxes. And when you open it, you can to show you how you can create a particular box. Okay. So I hope if we all have this slide open, we can just look for the Ubuntu 20.04 by searching the call. We'll pick that one and open it up and show you the commands that you can run. So you can, if you're creating a new file or you're adding to an already existing Vagrant file, you can use in your these commands, right? So I can take up this command here and paste it on the terminal and run it. And it creates a Vagrant file for me that I can now see, open up, and maybe make more configurations or just spin it up the way it is. And then to don't deploy that, okay? Okay, quick question from Nick. Nick, let's hear from you. Okay. Perhaps that was a mistake. Okay, so I'm taking this now.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Is that Nick? Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I'm saying that I'm a bit confused.
Okay.
What you are doing now is from your browser or from your Vagrant terminal?
It's from my browser. It's from my browser.
Thank God, better meet your mic. Oh. Okay.
Yes, so I'm
Sorry,
doing this on my browser
we'll
now.
eventually catch up.
No. That's fine. I went to this link here. Can you see my screen? Should I drop the link in the chat? Let me do that.
Okay.
So you can go to this link to see these boxes, right? And then from there you can execute the Vagrant inits Ubuntu command. Okay, Abraham, question.
Yeah, okay, I'm at the site now, and it's asking me to sign into the Hashish Cup platform in order to get to where the boxes are.
Sign
I need to create an account. Do I need to create an account to be able to access the boxes?
in. No. Let's create an account. Just go to the site, app.vagrant.com/boxes/safe. And to bring up boxes.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at.
Okay. So you see the boxes.
I'm not there yet. That's exactly where I'm at. It's asking me to sign up or sign in.
Can you see my screen?
You're not sharing yet.
Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
So app.vagrant.com.
Is this what you're seeing?
Yeah, this is what I'm saying.
Can you see look for a box?
Sorry?
Can you see look for a box here? See what I'm highlighting?
Sorry, let me just put my hand down. Sorry, just a minute. Let me put my hand down. Okay, search for Vagrant boxes. All right, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, Adedeji.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you? Please,
I'm very fine, thank you.
I did this thing myself. Like before this class, I already installed Ubuntu, but it is 24.04. You understand? And I already installed it, the minimized package on the Vagrant. Is there going to be any issues? Because now on this site, when I got there, I didn't see any 24.04. The latest one I saw is 14.04.
That's the first one.
Huh?
Not the
Sam, sir?
latest one. That's the first one. That's the first one, not the
That's
latest one.
Okay. So if I search for the 24, I'll still see it.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So you can search for focal and to bring up the 20.04 for you. Right, and if we open that now, we get this documentation. So we can then click on new, right, and copy Vagrant inits /focal, and then come to our terminal. And come to our terminal and paste that, right? We should make a directory for our vagrants. Say maybe vagrants hands-on. But inside the directory, that's where the vagrants file is created. Any other files we need to run with that. That vagrant file will also be created there as well. So we should make a directory first. Then we go into that directory. And then we can paste what we copied. There's the vagrant init Ubuntu focal. First of all, we know this directory is empty. Right? But when we paste this vagrant init Ubuntu focal, 64, and execute it. You see, a Vagrant file in place in this directory. You're now ready to Vagrant up with first virtual environment. So when we now list, we now see that we have a Vagrant file there. Are we all here? Okay, okay. On whatever platform you're running on, you can access your terminal by section, either in your Windows search. You can just go to the Windows search and type terminal to bring up your terminal for you. Right? So if you're just now searching for the terminal, I would also advise that you check if you have Vagrant installed as well. By doing Vagrant version. And if you get this, then you have Vagrant installed. That's after it gets to your terminal. So simply just search for terminal and to bring out your terminal for you. Go to your terminal, you do Vagrant version, find if it's installed. Okay, if I continue with this. So we have our Vagrant file now installed. Is everyone else here? So with Vagrant installed, you now want to do the Vagrant pop command and press enter. Right? Let's have a look at the Vagrant file that was created. So taking a look at the Vagrant file that was created when we did the Vagrant init, we can see that this configuration file, first of all, is set up to help us create write our own configurations by ourselves. So it has a lot of parts of it commented out that we can read to understand what we need to write in our configuration file. Okay, first of all, we see all Vagrant configuration is done below. The 2 in vagrant.config configures the configuration version. There are other older styles for backwards compatibility. Do not change that unless you want to do. So we're not going to change that because we can either change that to an earlier version of the configuration, but we don't want to do that. Let's work with the latest one. So we have vagrant.configure, and do gives that vagrant.configure a variable name that you can reference later. So after that, it does config. That is, it calls this vagrant.configure to using the variable name config.vm.box. Right? And this is what we will use to specify the box Ubuntu/focal, which was the same box we did when we did the Vagrant init Ubuntu/focal. So that is a Vagrant file with box text2 Ubuntu/focal. Okay. Okay, other configurations you can use, you can forward a case port forwarding. You can also create other things in there. Okay. So let's close out on that. Has everyone run their Vagrant up? Okay, just put up your hand if you've done the Vagrant up now. Your box running. Okay. I can't see any hands up. I can't see any hands up. Hello. Okay. So you have your box running.
Yeah.
Martha, let's hear from you. You have your books running. You've done Vagrant.
Mine is actually a question. The one on my own screen.
Hello. Michael. Michael, do you have a question?
Oh, I raised my hand because you requested who has their Vagrant up and all of that.
Okay.
So,
Okay, that's fine.
around Vagrant SSH or so.
Okay, you've run Vagrant SSH.
Yeah. I'm having access to my terminal.
Okay. So that's the next command we need to run after Vagrant. You run Vagrant SSH so that you can have access to your command, to the shell of your books. On the other hand, I have a different configuration here. This is for, I think Lucy that has M1. So yours will be a little different because we're now working with Docker. Lucy, have you worked with Docker before?
I only hear of Docker in YouTube videos.
Okay. Do you have Docker installed on your system?
No, sir, but it's something I can do. The link is there. I can get to that. Or maybe after this class, I would use YouTube to install it.
Okay. Because we have a Docker class we have not gotten to yet. Yeah. Okay, but basically how Docker is going to work will be let's look at the configuration file I have here. So instead of having to specify the box, I'll first of all specify my provider Docker, which will be configure.vm.provider Docker. That's where I'll now specify a variable for that ID, just like I specified a variable for config for the variant.config as config here. Then I'll do build directory for Docker build directory for the present working directory, right? And that will be the configuration. What this should do is will be to look for the build there command. We'll look for a Docker file within my directory, within the directory that I specified here, which is the present directory. Look for a Docker file and use that Docker file to build an image, which is then run on my Docker. So you can run my Docker within the system. So that's how I have my Docker. Question from Nick.
Yeah. Okay, don't worry, sir. I think I'm catching up bit by bit. But the thing is not easy, man. Jeez.
But that's fine.
But I'm catching up. I'm catching up. When on my timing, I'm able to. When I raised my hand, I did SSH, and I said, a Vagrant environment or a target machine is required to run this command.
You did SSH or you did Vagrant SSH?
I did Vagrant SSH.
Okay.
So you now said I should run Vagrant init, which I've done now, and I've done the SSH. So the last message here is saying a Vagrant file has been placed in this directory. You are now ready to Vagrant up. Okay. Okay, then the last, so plus other small messages, then it now says if you believe you already have a provider available, make sure it's properly installed and configured. You can see more details about this, about why a particular provider isn't working by forcing usage with Vagrant up --
Do you have
provide.
VirtualBox installed?
VirtualBox, yes, I think I did. That's what VS Code though, that's what I have.
You have VirtualBox?
No.
Okay.
I should download it.
Yes. Download VirtualBox. You're running. Yes, download VirtualBox. What operating system are you using?
This is Windows 10.
Okay, download VirtualBox. It should be.
Okay, sir. Okay, doing that right away.
All right, Martha.
Okay, yes, sorry, I apologize for earlier. I was saying that the command, I think I got it wrong, the first one. So what I posted the screenshot on the chat. So I don't know if you can take a look at it.
Let's start from the beginning, Martha.
Okay, I said that
you do a Vagrant init, right? You do a Vagrant init. That is this command. When you run this, then you run Vagrant up. First of all, you create a directory for all of this. Right? So after you create your directory, which is pretty simple, then you enter a directory, then you run the Vagrant init command, which will create a Vagrant file for you within the directory. After that, you run Vagrant up, and then Vagrant SSH, then you'll be with us. Okay? Is that fine?
Okay, sir. Understood. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Let's take this more questions so that we can move on. Ania Khan and then Musa. Ania Khan, go ahead.
Okay, so I kind of partitioned my M1, right? So I kind of installed, I don't know if you read of Parallax Desktop, right? Which is more like a Windows OS, so that I can easily run all this command, because I had issues with MacBook while I was doing it like a few months ago. So I just want to know if I can continue using the Parallax partition that I have on my laptop, more like it's a Windows version, to run all these commands. So I think I have to go back to previous videos, watch them, and see how I can meet up. So I don't know if it is possible for me to use that Parallax Desktop extension.
Okay, I don't know about Parallax Desktop, but if you have a software where you can partition your resources and run different operating systems within the same laptop, say Windows, for instance, then the Windows will be using the same hardware resources. And that's what I think the problem with running this VirtualBox on M1 is, the resources themselves. That is because the chip that you're using is
okay.
I think the problem with running this VirtualBox specifically, VirtualBox, not Vagrant, the VirtualBox provider, right, on M1 is the chip. The chip is your hardware, the ARM chip. It's not specific to the operating system, right? So if you partition it and run Windows on your laptop, it still could not work. It's something you can try, but my opinion is that it might still not work because it's still be using the same hardware resources, which are not supported by by VirtualBox for ARM chips. Basically, yeah. So you can try that. But
Okay.
I don't think it's worth it. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you're welcome. So finally, Musi, and then we go ahead. We need to connect. We need to connect
Yes, sir.
to
So please, just a
to
quick one. Just a quick one.
okay.
After installing Docker, please, if you don't mind, do you mind just pasting the command line I will initiate on the terminal so that we'll catch up with what we are doing here. You made mention of some,
Okay.
yes, I just paste them here so that once I download on my own, I will just run them on my terminal and know I'm safe. If you don't mind, sir.
Okay.
You mentioned about 4 or 5 these things, command lines to do.
For Docker.
No, after installing the Docker, after downloading the Docker, I will have to come back
Do
to
you
the
have Docker
terminal.
installed? Do you have Docker installed?
No, I said I will do it immediately after the class.
Okay, let's handle it after the class. Within the Discord channel.
Okay.
We'll handle it after the class. That's fine. Okay. So let's move on. Okay. Don't worry about me, guys. So we've all done Vagrant SSH, right?
Yeah, we have.
Okay. So if you do Vagrant SSH, you'll now be within your Vagrant. To create a shell to your Vagrant file. I'm using Docker, so I've gone into my container where the Vagrant virtual machine is running. Now, this is all we wanted to do. Now, within this, we can now run all our commands that we've been working with. Let's try to pull those up. Okay. Okay. So we have from our last class to list all users. All users on the system. List all the users. So we have this Vagrant user. We have an SSH user. We have an Ubuntu user. And if we go into our okay, quick question. When a new user is created, to create a directory for that user, which directory? Somebody have some directories here. That is what we have the name, finally, you have extension, you have the CD, configuration,
Sorry, sir. Your audio is not so clear. Sorry.
So asking who knows where we can go to see the various directories for the users that have been created. Anthony.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Are you answering the question?
No, I have issues that I want to clarify.
Okay.
Okay, these terminals, are we using virtual machines to run it, or we are running it from our own normal systems?
You just joined the class. Okay, you've been here.
I've been here.
Yeah, okay. So are we using virtual machines to run, or are we running some our system? We are running virtual machines on our system. Right? So I'm in a virtual machine now. This thing I'm doing, what I'm writing here. Right? This is the virtual machine that is on my computer. Yes, but the virtual machine is running on my computer. Does it make sense? Okay. Thank you. So add team in your contrib, that is the ECD directory. But the ECD directory is for configuration files, where we can see user directories is in our home directory here. Right. So if you go into the home directory, you can see there's an Ubuntu directory and there's a Vagrant directory. So you can do CD. Let's see if there's anything in there. CD home / Vagrant. Okay, nothing in there. And do ls sorry home / so okay, so let's try to do what I just did there is to update my package manager of my system. Now Ubuntu has its package manager as apt-get, right? Package manager will basically have all the packages that you can install on your system in apt. So you can have your, if you want to install SSH to be in apps directory. So you can update that to get the latest packages that have been installed in that into your directory. So you see it gets Ubuntu port ARM package, it gets Ubuntu port logo updates main. So it just gets the latest packages for you into your directory. So let's try to see the processes that are running on this machine. How do we do that? How do we see the processes running on this machine? And Yekan, your hand is up. Are you trying to answer our question?
I'm trying to ask a question, sorry. So what's the difference because you said that Ubuntu has apt-get, right? So what about CentOS? Is there a difference this thing keyword keyword that you use for CentOS? Like what's the difference between Ubuntu and CentOS?
Yeah, I won't answer that. Someone in the talk should answer that. What's the difference between Ubuntu and CentOS? Who knows? Put up your hand. Guys, no. Don't do this. Who knows the difference between Ubuntu and CentOS? Okay, Adedeji.
There are types of distributors for Linux servers or Windows. Linux OS.
Okay, there are types of what?
Distributors. Different distributors, I believe.
Distributions. Yeah. Distributions. Who can explain what distributions are? Distributions of Linux. What are they?
It's like versions of Linux.
Okay. Flavors of Linux.
Different flavors. That's a better description because a flavor can have various versions. As we can see, Ubuntu has version. Someone said that he saw version 20.04 of Linux. Yeah. That's Ubuntu can have version 18, version 16, 14, version 20, version 22. I think that's the latest version 22. But in itself, Ubuntu is a distro, it's a flavor of Linux. It's a spin-off of Linux. It's a particular type of Linux, if I can say that, right? So Linux is open source. People can come, go to the source code, branch out, and create their own version of Linux. So that's different. CentOS is a different flavor of Linux from Ubuntu, for instance. And for the question of, is there a different package manager for CentOS? Yes, CentOS uses the Yum package manager. That Yum package manager is the package manager from Red Hat, right? So the Red Hat package manager is Yum. Ubuntu's package manager is apt. I think is it Fedora? That is package manager is DFR, something like that. I can't remember. Does that answer your question? I think so. I think so. Princess, any question from you? Okay, that was a mistake. So the question I asked, that people have not answered. How do we see the running processes on our system? Go ahead, Tango.
So we could use the PS process status command, or we can use a cat, I think.
Yes. So PS shows us that we have the shell command running and the PS process running. Try to some options. How about in real time? Who can tell us how to use it in real time? See the processes in real time. Okay, so for that we use stop. What stop will show us is processes running right now. So right now it's showing that we have 3 processes running. As SH, that is a shell, and SSH running as well. So you have the process ID here. We have the user. We have the niceness. Remember niceness we talked about for priority. That's this NI here. So we have 1 running. We have 2 sleeping. We have 0 slots. We have 0 database. Okay. CPU. We have the disabled for the CPU. Thank God had a question.
Sorry, that was a mistake. I've lowered the hand.
So we did the yes, right? Okay, update. So now we want to store an application using our package manager. We can do that by doing apps. Yes, store. This is for. This is for. Right? This app is for. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Well, yes, I can barely hear you, sir. Plus, most of the commands works on my terminal, but I have to include sudo first. I don't know if there's anything wrong or I didn't install something.
There's nothing wrong. So the sudo is the super user. It's like for your super user command. It gives you super user permissions if you're a sudo, right? So let's see, who am I? So now that you see that who am I, you see that I'm the root user here. So already I logged into this machine, this virtual machine as the root user, which means that I have super user privileges. I have broad access. So I
Okay.
have permission to do everything. But if I'm running as, I'll just say I'm running as Vagrant, as a Vagrant user,
Yeah.
I will have to assume this sudo privileges using the sudo command,
Okay.
right?
So how do I get into this route?
I use sudo dash I, I use sudo dash su. But I'll usually use sudo dash I. Get to the sudo.
Okay,
Or I can
sudo
just
dash
use
I.
sudo. Yeah.
Sudo dash I.
Thank
you, sir.
If that work,
Let me
if
check.
you did this, you have to dive into your research paddy, Google.
All right. Thank you.
Let's get very comfortable with Googling things. Doing searches to find a lot of things you might need will be on Google, will be in one forum or the other. Something you should always have in mind is whatever problem you're facing, whatever error that you have done, whatever error you're seeing, you're not the first person to see that error. That's why that error is there. Other people have encountered that error. You need to find out how they solve it. You need to find out why that error is coming. When you're able to do that, we put up our hands first. When you're able to do that, it will help you to understand what you're working with better and be able to, if you miss the error next time, be able to handle it. But also, don't also be afraid to ask questions. Okay, maybe that's in this call that will help you with thinking. But do your research, and ask questions. Okay. So we're trying to install Apache. Apps that gets actually something like advocate the fine. That's not one like that. No. Anyway, I think updates gets install. I can add a flag dash y, which would there's a question that they might ask you, are you sure you want to install or something like that? And I'll have to either say yes or no. But if I put the dash y flag, that automatically says yes for me. So I'll even put that, say install Apache. Right. So this is the question I was talking about. Do you want to continue? After this operation, 107 MB of additional disk space will be used. Do you want to continue? So I'll now say yes. Or I could have just put that dash y command up there, but dash y flag, and so just automatically say yes to this. Right. So let me cancel this. Let me cancel. How do I cancel? Right. So I've canceled that. So I'll get that. Now let me do it with right? Okay. So that automatically passes that stage sheet here. After, where's that after? Okay. So somewhere, yes, here. You can't see it, but it is now installing Apache for me. It should be my Apache server. Okay. So it has installed that package for me. Yeah. Question from Abraham.
Yes, sorry, I'm stuck on apt dash get space find. I'm not saying could not log file slash var slash lib slash dpkg slash log front end. I don't, is there a way to get around that?
Say again. What did you say?
So I typed in apt dash get spacebar find, and the error message I got was could not open log file slash var slash lib. Like I tried to install Apache.
Said you typed apt.get dash get find.
Yeah. No, install
Find.
Apache.
Okay. Install Apache.
Apache 2.
Yeah, this is what you did.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And it said what?
And it said error could not open log file slash var slash lib slash dpkg slash log content. 13 permissions failed. Sorry?
Right, who am I?
Okay. Who am I? Okay, it's saying Vagrant PTS slash 0 2024 05 28.
You sudo before you write that. That's right sudo first.
Okay, sudo. Sorry, could you help me with the spelling of sudo?
Yeah.
Okay, sudo. Sudo apt get install. Okay, dash y apache 2. Oh, all right, done. Connecting to archive.ubuntu.com. Right. It's running a series of commands.
It's installing, I guess.
Sorry?
I think it must be installing. Nicholas.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, boss. So I've tried to install the VMware. So it's saying Oracle VM VirtualBox 7.018 needs Microsoft Visual C++ 219 redistributable package being installed first. Please install and restart the installation of Oracle VM VirtualBox 7.018. I don't know what that means. Hello, boss.
Hello. I can hear you.
Did you get that, sir?
Yes, I got you. It's saying that you need plus.
Yes, Microsoft Visual C++.
Visual C++.
219.
Okay. What you can do is to copy that error message.
Okay.
And search for
Not copyable. And search for it online.
Yes. I think it's to need you to download C++. I'm not sure why other people are not having that error. Maybe they have had it downloaded automatically on their system. Right. So this is part of the issue that you get. It's running on my system, it's not running on my system. You have something that's might be missing on your system. So
okay.
Nicholas, just
Emmanuel posted something on the chat box. How to fix the error. So I'll just maybe follow the prompt.
Emmanuel.
Yeah.
Emmanuel,
Yes, sir.
did you encounter this kind of error?
Even when I was doing it like last few months ago, so it's just C++ he needs to upgrade. So if he doesn't do that through normal Windows update, he can just go and download it, then install. It will pick. So this was the link I
Please
used.
go to that link and read first so that you can understand what the error is.
Okay.
Is that fine?
Okay, that's cool. Thank you.
you.
Thank you, Emma.
You're welcome.
Okay, Ujuma. Hello.
Don't worry. I wanted to like help him out. I had the same issue when I was installing mine.
Okay, since you're here with us,
Oh.
we just installed Apache. Right?
No, not now.
Hello. Are you with me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I just installed Apache on my machine. Okay. I want to see the configuration files of this Apache that I just installed. What directory should I go to?
The etc directory.
Okay. She says the etc directory. Right. So I just listed out everything in the etc directory, and I can see Apache too. So let me go in there. Well done, okay. So going into etc Apache. So we have apache.conf. Let's quickly look at that. Is it a file or a directory? Let's find out. So sites enabled is a directory. Sites available is a directory. Mods enabled is a directory, conf enabled directory. Apache2.conf is not a directory. So we can look at that, see what is in there. No, but people probably don't know what Apache is. So, okay, I will explain that. Because our class, okay, I will say what our assignment is now. So let us look at what we have in the configuration. Right? They're saying I don't have nano. Nano is not found on this installation. You see, I don't have any, so I don't have any text editor yet. Let me try to install that. Okay, so version. Okay. So I see now that I have Nano installed. I just installed that. So let me do the Nano Apache 2.conf again. And now I can see the Apache Nano now opens to. Nano is a text editor. For those I don't know. It has now shown me the configuration files. So reading these configuration files, I will get an idea of how to configure this web server, right? Okay. We see that this says sets the default security mode of our Apache HTTP server. It does not allow access to the root file system outside of user/share and var/www. The former is used by the web server, the web application package Debian. The latter may be used for local directories served by the web server. Okay, so that says that the two directories that it allows this Apache to serve the user share and the var/www. This user share is used by the web application, by web applications packaged in Debian, and the var/www is used for local directories served by the web server. So this means that the web application basically serves files that are on this directory to the public, let's say the public for now. If your system is serving content from a subdirectory in /server, you must allow access here or in any related virtual host. Okay. So this has specified directories for us in the var directory and the user share directory, right? Okay, so let's go out of here. This command X out of here. Let's see if we have any other configurations. I hope you all know what I'm doing. Hello.
Yes, I do.
Is there anybody that doesn't understand something? Okay. Let's do that. There's a configuration file in sites enabled. So let's see what that is. What's going? Examples. That's several directives. That's the yes. Anthony, go ahead.
Yes. Okay, I am kind of lost, but there's a way you can help me because I like I'm a lone learner kind of person, but if you can give us possibly a slice and in what we have done, for instance, what we have done today and the instructions to follow on that slice, I think we can achieve more because I think we are about 36 people on this meeting, but then we only have few people responding to you, which means other people possibly must have issues that they are not seeing.
Okay, Anthony.
Yes.
We're going to have some classworks and I'll share some resources with you that you can go to read, but let's try to follow the class so that we can understand some things from here that we can use later. Even if you want to do further research, that's encouraged and that'll be fine. But let's try to understand what we are doing here.
All right, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so Apache. What is this Apache? Right? Apache is a web server. It helps us to serve, that is to make accessible. Let's say that. Make directories, make certain things on our computer accessible to other computers.
Sorry, can't hear you.
Port 80, which is HTTP, which is the internet. It can expose that via the internet. Now, how does it do that? Let's look versions of this, right? And that is this phenomenon that we have here. Let's take a look at an example configuration. It's default. This came as we installed Apache. So virtual host, that speaks to the host and the ports. It shows us that it's deploying this on our host at port 18, and it's deploying the document root is what it's deploying. var/www/50. This is a file that is presently within this computer, and it's exposing that to the public at this directory. It's using our computer IP at this directory, port 80. It also shows us, it also specifies an error log directory for us to see errors that might occur, and an auditing file for access. So, log directory, error.log, access.log. Okay. Let's go back to our roots. Now, there's a reason I'm doing that. So, going back to the roots, you can do cd, it's this. It's out again. You have Chika.
Hello, sir. Please, I would like you to repeat your explanation on Apache. You said Apache is a web server, then you went off, and I bet the recording will not pick it. Kindly rephrase it again.
So from hello.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, sir. Please, I would like you to repeat the
No, I heard you.
explanation.
I heard you.
Okay. Okay.
I heard you. Yeah. So we. Okay. How does the internet work? Right? That's the first question. So the internet is a connection of various computers. Simply put. Right? Now, you want. Remember, I told you a program is basically a file. So say you have two servers, two computers on one, right? And you have computer two. Now, and you have a file sitting on computer one. What's the internet was created to do? It's to enable two computers to connect to each other so that this computer can have access to this file sitting on this computer. So we want this computer to have access to this file here, right? And that's the simple idea of what we are trying to do with this whole thing called internet. How does that happen? Now, computer two is the one requesting to see what is on this file on the computer. So computer 2 can be referred to as a client, right? So this is your client. And computer 1 is the one that has the resource that is being requested by the client. So what is it called? What is that computer called?
Host.
Someone put up your hand and tell me. Who can tell me in many words? Let me take, let me see. That is first time I'm seeing them. You say
No,
what
I
is
say
it called?
host, sir. Host, the host.
Okay, thank God. What's it called?
It's called a server.
Thank God. What's it called? Okay.
It's called a server.
So it's called a server. All right. Thank you. That's beautiful. So, but at the basic level, these are just two computers, right? Okay. Why is this one a server? It's a server because it has this file that it wants to serve, that it can serve to the clients. How can it serve it? Serves it with an application or a process on it that's called a web server process, right? So this web server process sits here and is able to have access to various files on this computer. Say maybe you want to save multiple files. You have multiple files you want to save. You have all these files here, right? Now this web server can make you able to access them. Okay. This is your web server. This is your client. So your client connects to the web server. And so it's now able to access this, right? Or rather, the web server makes this available, and clients can now connect to it. The client that has the address of this computer will have an address on the network, whether it's the internet or a smaller network. It will have an address called, who can tell me what? Say it's maybe it's something like a house. You need a house address for it so that people can know where on the network this is sitting. Right? You see.
IP, sir. Please, I will get this one.
Very good. So it's yes, you got it. So it's have an IP address, right? Where it makes it available. So different computers can now connect to it. Different clients can now able to connect to it, right? And it now serves these files, and the clients can have access to those files. This server process, this server application is what Apache is creating, it's doing for us, right? So that is what Apache is doing for us. Apache is the server process that is running and making these files available. Now let us see that in action. Chika, do you understand this diagram? Chika,
yes,
you asked
sir.
the question. Do you understand this diagram? Do you have any questions based on this? What's the question?
No, I don't have.
Do you have any questions based on this?
No, I don't have.
Hello? Okay.
No, I
Okay.
don't
Okay.
have.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let us look at this now on our seminar, right? So into the configuration, into our configuration file. And we went into Apache 2. Right? And we went into sites enable, for instance. That's sites enable. Right? Now let's look at this script. What it's saying. Configuration protocol. Now it's saying that document root is var/www/html, right? 7 days on. This server's IP at port 80, right? Server admin webmaster look at it. Let us look for this file, because this is the file that is saying it's going to serve this file on our system and see what is now. Let's see what's first. So we have backups, cache, and we have www. We have this HTML document, right? We have the styling. Yeah. Let's see what's in the body. Okay. So in the body, the Apache default page, it works. This is the so basically this is what we want to see when the server is running, right? So if we do service Apache,
Mike,
Michael,
you're
you're
our
the host.
host. So, Mike, please go ahead. We are
No,
hearing you.
I'll take no host. God, I beg.
Okay. So we are still following.
Sir,
Hello.
yes, we are together.
Good evening, sir. So I'm currently the host, so I would suggest that we resume the recording.
If you unmute without raising up your hand, I will kick you out.
We tell host that one. You no get respect.
I will kick you out. I'll use the scapegoat.
Okay. So we are almost time. Let's. Are we all seeing the screen? I think I must have missed some lists. I hope you said anything. So what I did was I did service Apache stuff. And when I do this service Apache status again, it shows that Apache is now running. Okay. So we can see that it's here. You can see that. So it's now serving that directory. Okay. So let's you can see my screen. So to look at the Vagrant file. So let's look at this. Create a port forwarded port mapping, which allows access to a specific port within the machine from a port on the host machine. In the example below, accessing local 80 in the guest machine, which is your virtual machine that is running, right? This will enable public access to the open ports. So we want to create a port forwarding from our host machine to that particular port. If we set up Apache on a normal computer, colon the host that yes. Port 80 is the one that's exposed by Apache, right? So we can just do port 80 in Apache, but now it's running on a virtual machine within our port forwarding, which creates a mapping. A mapping is basically your guest machine, your host machine, right? We have the ports. We want to your host machine to ports on your host machine, so that you can now access this from the internet, from your internet. You can now connect to this port. Then this can access the file instructions. Right. So that's what portfolio wants to do for us. So we can create that portfolio on our machine. I'm running in Docker. So let's see what's okay. I'm trying to create container, show my host computer. If there's anybody running on Vagrant, simply on Vagrant on VirtualBox, you can simply do that by editing. Simply create a portfolio by editing your Vagrant file there. Is there someone that has been following me? Michael.
Sorry, I
Michael.
actually want to ask you to repeat the question. I didn't get it.
Okay. Is there anybody that's running this on their VirtualBox right now?
So even my Vagrant is not yet set up.
Okay. We can treat that as an error. Sorry. Let's look at it right now. So we have our container running here in Docker with this name, how it got into form. Hello, Abdul. Hello, is that okay? Can because we don't have the virtual box on here. But box, you can simply do the port forwarding within your virtual vagrants, within your vagrants file, and that will um, create the port forwarding between your two companies, within your host and your bridge. Are there any questions on that? Are there any questions on that? Very quickly. Yeah, out of time. Hello. Chika, do you have a question?
Sir, please pardon me. I'll ask my question on Friday
No
because
problem.
my system is down. So I did not install, I did not really
Okay.
run the installation, you get. So after I watch the video, I run the installation.
That's fine. That's fine. So let's just try this on our own, and then I think the class will be on Friday. Lucy, we would
Yes, I'm
have
with
a
you, sir.
conversation on this M1 and running it on Docker. We are
Oh,
running it
okay,
on Docker since we
okay,
will
sir.
have to run our own Docker. Yeah, without
Okay,
virtual bots.
okay,
Okay.
sir.
So we'll
Okay,
discuss
so
more in this one.
okay, I think I have VirtualBox. So just to download the Docker and install. Then I will reach out to you. That's fair.
That's fair. Yes.
Okay, sir. Oh, thank you, sir.
Okay.